everyone, welcome back to another episode of Unfoodable Feature. I'm your host, Vanessa Rodriguez, and I'm very excited about today's topics because we'll be talking about music, ambiance, and people. More specifically, we'll learn why restaurant music programs are very important for your brand. To help me navigate this topic a little better, we actually have Adam Melrose from Control Play. He's a Chief Playlist Officer, and he'll talk to us about why music programs and actually music videos are important for your restaurant. So welcome, Adam. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So to kick off this conversation, let's start at the very beginning. You know, every time I hear a song, it triggers my memory. It brings me back to that place and time. So I want to hear it from you. Why do you think music is so important?
Wow. It's probably one of the most subjective things and something that, you know, when you look at the comment cards in restaurants and things like that, it comes up so often. But I think it is just so important because I think music takes us back to so many different parts of our life and helps kind of set the tone for that. You know, when you're upset, you listen to a sad song. When you're at the gym and you want to get pumped up, you listen to something excited and driving. So I think it's so important because I know life without music is boring. And it just needs to be a part of every experience, in my opinion. Now, I'm a little biased because of where I work, but
of course. No, yeah, I definitely agree with you. So, you know, this brings me to my next question. So why is music so important for restaurants?
If you look at, you know, we make so many other decisions in the restaurant space. Like, I'm an old bar manager. I helped open and run a few places over a decade ago, and we spend so much time thinking about the color of the walls, to the finish of the table, to the, you know, what kind of leather we're using in the banquettes, that music always takes this back seat. And it's the people who really understand that it needs to be part of that experience. It needs to complement that whole experience that we're building, that really get it and know how to set proper moods and atmospheres. And I think it's just so underthought actually most of the time that it needs to be part of that experience, you know, and I think all too often it's just kind of left into the hands of, well, let's just put the radio on and move on.
Right.
And you've spent so much money building this cool experience, and it could just be topped off. It's the icing on the cake to everything else you're delivering to your customer.
Right. So it could, you know, essentially bring everything sort of together, right? So what can it do actually for a brand in terms of brand recognition?
Well, it's no different than, you know, if you look at McDonald's. If I have a Big Mac here in London, Ontario, or in Los Angeles, California, it should taste the same, right? So if what we're looking at is the guaranteed execution on a brand experience and a guest experience, a big part of that feeling, you might not even know what a song is, but there's just that certain sound to it. You know, if I'm heading to a jazz club, there's that sound I expect. And what's crazy about it as well is the music has a lot to do with even just the energy of the staff members. So if we're trying to guarantee, you know, guest experience with the type of interaction they'll have with the staff, if the staff are having more fun, they're going to have more fun with your customer, right? So it really needs to tie into that whole experience.
Yeah, and you know what I thought was interesting about Control Play was the fact that you guys not only make an emphasis on music, but also, you know, music videos. And so I wanted to really hear from you, how does, you know, that combination between music and video, how powerful is that?
Well, the great thing with music video is so many of the businesses we work with have all this, you know, excess screen real estate. And so often everybody just says, oh, we just play sports. Well, I think, what is it right now? It's 2:22 in the afternoon where I'm at. There's not a whole lot of sports on right now. It's you know, it's things on repeat. So you've got all these televisions and you're already setting this mood and you've got this cool vibe. And if all of a sudden now we can add to that another layer of the visual going into that video, then you're just adding to your entertainment experience. A really cool fact as well, in 2017, 25% of all music listened to in the world was taken in by music video and watching on YouTube. So if 25% of the world is, you know, of listens and watches are music video, then can we create an experience where, as part of my going to your restaurant, now this is part of it? So what we hear from our subscribers is once the videos are part of the experience, that people are staying longer. And that usually equates to a few more drinks or another shareable, or just a longer stay time, which is only, you know, add to how much more money they're going to spend with you while they're there.
You know, there's so many music streaming sort of companies, and there's Pandora, there's Spotify, and there are many restaurants that use these kind of services in order to fulfill that void when it comes to music. What does having a on-brand music program actually do for your bottom line for the client?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, when it comes to your made for the masses solutions that you just mentioned, Spotify, which their business version of that is called Soundtrack Your Brand, and then Pandora. And if you search just music for business solutions online right now, you're going to find hundreds of just music only solutions and a few other video companies. But I think, to my point of all of those are for the most part made for the masses. But what we're trying to bring to the industry is, because we're all a group of ex-DJs and bar managers and people who worked in the environment, is we've dedicated all of our efforts to just working with bars and restaurants. So if your brand is, I'm a fast casual, I've got this kind of pub feel, and I'm in the craft beer side of things, I'm trying to appeal to hipsters, and my demographic is this, this, and this, then we're having those quality conversations with our subscribers to understand that information, so that when we build playlists, it's not just, well, here's 5,000 rock songs, let's hit shuffle and hope for the best.
Right.
It's 400 of those 5,000 rock songs that have been handpicked for your business. And then further to that, if we're talking brand experience, if somebody's going to stay in your business within 45 to an hour and 15, for an average dinner or lunchtime, can we take them on, no different than a DJ would in a club? Obviously, we're not throwing a party, but we can still take people on a journey with the music. So I think it's imperative to know that, so that we can play the right music to the right people.
So in what cities does Control Play actually work in?
So our licensing is good for all of North America. So basically everywhere in Canada and everywhere in the U.S. And we've got just over 5,000 venues across Canada and the U.S. right now, and that's anything from L.A. to a small county with 500 people to live in it. It's just wherever we connect with business owners that want to help build on experiences that we can service.
Where can our audience learn more about Control Play?
Sure. So it's pretty simple. It's just www.controlplay.com. And obviously we've got a presence on Facebook and Instagram as well. And, we're happy to chat with people. We have, further to your question earlier, we have support people here till 2 o'clock in the morning every single day of the week.
Wow.
So, it's one of those things where we can't really operate as a 9 to 5 when the average business we work with is open until 2 a.m.
Totally makes sense. Yeah. So Adam, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time, and thank you for sharing your knowledge.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. And for those of you watching, make sure you subscribe. If you have any comments, any ideas, or you just want to say hi, be sure to do so at producer@fruitabletv.com. I'm Vanessa Rodriguez, and I will catch you next time.